is an anti-minimalist device. We live in a world where everything is expected to converge into one object. One phone, one operating system, one glowing screen that becomes your camera, your reader, your notebook, your entertainment, your social life, your map, your wallet, almost your entire digital existence. People debate iPhone versus Android as if choosing a side means choosing a way of life, because in many ways, it does. Our workflows, habits, and attention are all built around this one device. And then there's this. The Onyx Palma feels like the complete opposite of where modern technology is headed. It's slower, it's monochrome, it doesn't try to impress you with power, speed, color, or endless multimedia. And somehow, that's exactly what makes it so compelling. This is the story of why I got my Onyx Palma. It started with an obsession I didn't really expect: e-ink. The first time I spent real time with an e-ink display, something clicked. It felt calm in a way normal screens never do. Most displays blast light directly into your eyes, constantly demanding your attention. E-ink feels different. It feels closer to paper. Light falls onto the display and reflects back at you instead of shining straight into your face. It's subtle, soft, and strangely satisfying. That experience started for me with the Boox Nova Air C. The Nova Air C felt like a glimpse into a different kind of technology. It wasn't flashy, but that was the point. It had this raw, almost quiet quality to it. The matte screen, the softer comic book colors, the slower and more deliberate feel of every interaction, it made reading feel special again. It made me want to slow down, sit down with a cup of tea, open a book, read an article without jumping to 5 other apps. Just be present with what was in front of me. That device sent me down a rabbit hole. Because once you realize technology doesn't always have to be brighter, faster, and louder, you start wondering what else is possible. What if a device was designed not to maximize stimulation, but to reduce it? What if it wasn't trying to become everything? And then, years later, the Palma came out. Honestly, I wanted to hate it. It seemed like such a strange product. A phone-shaped Android device with an e-ink display, but not really a phone replacement. Black and white, slower than what most people would consider acceptable. Niche in every possible way. The kind of device that makes you ask, who is this even for? But the thing is, once you fall in love with reflective displays, logic stops mattering a little bit. Yes, it's black and white. Yes, it's slower. Yes, it feels almost absurd in a world where every company is racing to make screens more vivid, more immersive, more addictive. But that's exactly why it works. The Palma takes everything I loved about e-ink and puts it into a form factor that fits into everyday life. It slips into your pocket, it fits into a small bag. You can hold it in one hand while commuting, waiting in line, or sitting in a quiet corner somewhere. And instead of inviting you to doom scroll, it invites you to read. That small shift is more powerful than it sounds. Because what makes these devices special is not how fast the processor is. It's not how beautiful photos look on them. It's not whether they have the latest specs, the shiniest build, or the most impressive features money can buy. What makes them special is the feeling they create. They lower the intensity of your day. They make it easier to choose reading over scrolling, thinking over reacting, quiet over noise. In a world where passive consumption is the default, a device like the Palma almost feels rebellious. It gives you a different rhythm, a slower pace, a little more friction, yes, but sometimes friction is exactly what keeps you intentional. And that's why I call it anti-minimalist. Because on the surface, it seems to go against minimalism. It's another device, another object, another thing to carry with you. In a world obsessed with consolidating everything into one phone, this looks like a step backward. But in another sense, it's more minimalist than the phone ever was. Not minimalist in the number of devices you own, but in the number of distractions you allow into your life. Not minimalist in hardware, but in mental clutter. The Palma does less, and because it does less, it gives more back to you. More focus, more stillness, more intention. And when I put it next to the Boox Nova Air C, I feel like they represent two sides of the same idea. The Nova Air C is the slower, richer experience. It's what you reach for when you want to sit down and spend time with content, reading comics, books, articles, notes. It feels like a companion for quieter parts of the day. The Palma is different. It's the portable version of that philosophy, the one that travels with you, the one that slips into your everyday routines and gently interrupts the habit of reaching for your phone every spare second. Together, they remind me of something I think we forget too often. Not every device needs to do more. Some devices are valuable because they do less on purpose. And maybe that's what I love most about the Onyx Palma. Not because it can replace my phone, not because it's more powerful, not because it's efficient, not because it's the future, but because it resists the idea that every piece of technology has to fight for more of my attention. Sometimes the best device is the one that helps you slow down, to read a book, to finish an article, to take a sip of tea, to sit with your thoughts for a while, to stop passively consuming and start being more deliberate with your time. In a world obsessed with convergence, the Onyx Palma feels like a quiet little rebellion, and that's why I love it.